there's a really big topic sitting around. USC just picked up 2 great recruits. We talked about this on the call-in show that, there's a lot. People were getting excited about this coaching staff, but they kind of pulled back because they want to say, we want to see it on the field. And I kept saying, be patient, you guys, be patient. If they show it on the field, which we all believe they're going to do, then you're going to see the recruits lining up. I mean, literally lining up. And this week you got 2 really good defensive players. You got Ty Jackson, who's a linebacker, 6'2", 205. I mean, the guy, everybody in the country wanted this guy. So whether you're a 247 ranking him somewhere like a 4-star-ish, or if you're like the ESPNs and the On3s ranking him as the best linebacker in the country, you could go there. But one thing you do know is with the laundry list, when you have like Penn State, Georgia, Alabama, Florida, I mean, you name it, going after him as the big guys, and he's visiting these schools, the kid's really good. And, having him come in and with Jaden Perlot, who's again another huge name, and Matai Tagoai, that both those guys, that's a hell of a linebacker class if USC brings that in. And Matt is gonna be smiling ear to ear because it's Matt Entz, it's Danton Lynn. Look at the showcase that these linebackers are giving for these guys to come in and play in. I mean, just look at how well our linebackers are playing. Guys are going to line up. I mean, they want to play. They want to be showcased. They want to get ready and be developed. All the things, USC is checking the boxes. And if this defense keeps showing that it's elite, that's going to happen more and more often.
Yeah, I mean, with the Ty Jackson commitment, it didn't take long for him to be convinced, right? And, that is proof of concept. That is recruiting momentum. And so if this just begins to pick up more pace, like if USC can just get past Michigan, then you're looking at a season that could be really special. I mean, who knows just how much recruiting momentum could emerge for this program. So, yeah, I mean, and we talked so much in the offseason about NIL, and not to dismiss the importance of that, but numero uno, if you can do it on the field, you're going to recruit yourself. And USC is quickly smashing that Lincoln Riley doesn't take defense seriously narrative. This is how you engineer a very swift turnaround, much more than NIL. Again, not that NIL doesn't matter, but this is where you can plant your flag and really make the biggest possible national statement.
But going back, sorry, so Ty Jackson gets all of the rapping and stuff like that. But also Viliami Moala is a big defensive tackle out of I believe Utah. I'm almost certain he's from Utah. I'm not certain of that. Don't quote me. But we've been talking about wanting to get that. We're having trouble in the transfer portal, trying to get somebody out of the portal. He's a 26 guy, so he's not coming right away. But he's a big dude, already. He's a 26 guy. He's 6'3", 305. And he's probably just going to get better. But Greg Biggins, anybody that follows, sports, if you're a USC guy, you follow sport recruiting, Gerard Martinez's name, right off the way, Scott Schrader's name right off the way. And Greg Biggins. And Greg Biggins said, true knows who can handle double teams, stuff the run, win the one-on-one matchups with strength and toughness. I don't know about you guys, but that sounds like a nose guard to me. That's somebody that I want setting the middle, setting that defense. And he seems like a great guy to bring in and develop with some dog work under Coach Henney. A War Room, what a chance of landing Elijah Griffin. They get better with every win, but like we said, pulling Georgia defensive linemen out of Georgia when Kirby Smart's still there. And it's not just that they're always in it for national championships, but also the fact that their proven production of getting guys into the NFL. It's a hard sell. It's just hard to pull those guys out. The fact that Elijah is looking at USC seriously, that's a testament to our coaching staff. So this one is going to play itself out. But I'll tell you, every marquee win that USC gets this year, every game where this defense looks like it's legit and just needs to keep building momentum, you're gonna see you just win. The recruits are gonna come. They want to see they can be successful, and clearly we're only 2 games in, but obviously a small sample size. But what we've seen, I don't see his defense slowing down. Matter of fact, again, they're still in. They got the basic install. They're gonna be adding more and more to this thing. So it's gonna, again, just like I said, Norm Moss to get better every game. This defense is to get better every game. So let's see what they can do, and then we'll talk about Mr. Griffin sometime in late November and December.
Yeah, this defense gets 2 weeks to prepare for Michigan. I think Chef Danton Lynn is going to cook up something pretty good. Also worth noting, while we're talking about just USC defensive recruiting, there was someone on the field, on the sidelines at the Utah State game. His name was Aaron Donald. Snapped some photos with Coach Henny. Woof, woof. So Aaron Donald was a very visible presence Saturday night. Don't think recruits weren't paying attention, and they're seeing this thing come together with Coach Henny, with Danton Lynn, with Matt Entz, with Doug Belk, with Taylor Mays. You can now see a new identity, brand, reputation being built, and I don't think this defense, against the competition it's facing, it's gonna be hard for this defense to play a really bad game. On our preseason statistical prediction show the week before the LSU game, I came down on the number 25, for points allowed per game. I think if I said if this USC defense can allow 25 a game, score an average of 34, right around there, sign me up. At this point, I'm thinking that if this defense allows anything over 20 per game, it might be a little bit of a disappointment. That this defense should be able to get to a 20 points per game total in terms of what it allows against the competition that it will be facing. And I also go back to the point that if USC does score in the mid-20s at Michigan, the only way USC loses under that scenario is, with a bunch of turnovers, with special teams mistakes. If USC doesn't make, any really huge mistakes and it scores in the 20s at Michigan, book it. USC wins. That's how good this defense is right now.
We probably faced, I don't know, maybe most likely the best offense, best quarterback combination, kind of running back, except for Penn State. But who else do we see on Penn State, besides Penn State, that we see putting 30 plus points up on this defense? I mean, that's not really a put down, but the teams we're playing, they're not built that way. They're built to stop points and try to plug away at points. Maybe Nebraska could put up some points, but there's really not a lot of teams that SC is going to be facing that have the ability to throw 30 plus points up against USC. So Matt, and there's some teams, and I'm just going to say, I'm not going to name names, but there's some real dog offenses that we're going to be playing. So we're going to see some of those lower ones. I mean, right now USC's at 10 points per game. It's obviously not going to stay at that. We just played Utah State, shut them out. That's obviously a big part of that. But there's going to be some defenses that USC is going to hold to a very low score as well on the schedule. Will they be able to play at this level the rest of the season? If so, then Matt, I think you're 20 points. I think I said 22 points, I believe, in our prediction show. So I mean, yeah, I'm feeling pretty confident about 22 points, but we'll see. We got to let it play out, right?
And Mark, just correct me if I'm wrong. When scoring defense is tabulated, that's it. The scoring averages do not factor in defensive touchdowns, correct? It's just points given up, right? It's a flat measurement, or do they adjust for special teams and defensive touchdowns?
That's points per game.
A flat division problem.
So so that just brings up a point about analytics. We should be able to have divided statistics, right?
Oh, yes.
There should be special teams points per game. There should be offensive points per game. There should be defensive points per game. It's pretty crazy that in 2024 we don't have those subdivisions of
net rushing yards,
averages allowed and scored.
Yes, the sack statistic is horrible in college football versus the rushing yardage, and that amplifies how bad Iowa's offense has been the last, let's say, 5 years. But looking at the last 2 years, in scoring less points this is insane when you think about it. In scoring less points than any power team in the country in the last 2 years, they got more defensive points scored added to that total. They had more pick sixes and fumble, scoop, and score touchdowns to add to that. That's incredible. That's how bad they were on offense.